Good evening. Hope you're all okay. I'm going to play for an hour, so I figured why not stream it, give everybody a chance to have a look. I don't know. Certainly, Tour 12 is getting busier and busier since I first went onto it. It used to be very uncluttered, and you'd sometimes sit there for 5 or 10 minutes waiting for an opponent. But that has changed. There's lots more people there now, and it's really the last stage in Golf Clash, if you're talking about the tour side of things. For those of you that are already on 11, it's not dissimilar. I actually find Tour 12 a bit easier than 11, if I'm honest. I think Tour 12 holes are a bit easier. I think the shootouts are much harder. I think with Tour 11, some of the holes are quite a lot harder, and the shootouts are significantly easier. So I guess it's preference though. Lots of people I know that have been up into Tour 12 have gone back to 11 because they preferred it. I like it up the top. So I'm going to get cracking. I play mostly with Titans and KMs. I am going to try and do this whole stream with free-to-play balls. Very occasionally, in certain circumstances, I'll pick a paid ball because there's just no other choice. I wouldn't do it unless I'd be completely uncompetitive. The name of the game is to win, and sometimes I feel like you just have to put in a special ball to play. I do use Golf Clash Notebook. For those of you that don't, I have it on a separate tablet. I'm on an iPhone, so I've got no widgets, no overlays, anything like that. I put it on a separate tablet. I find it much easier. I've got all of my bags set up I've got 3 accounts. We're going to play on my main account tonight. But essentially, I have 3 bags set up for my main account on Notebook. I've got 2 bags set up for both my other accounts, and then I also have a bag of Epic level 7s and Epic level 8s. And I have those deliberately. I don't really need the 7s when I'm playing with my main account because most of my Epics are level 7 there anyway. But when I'm playing with Panic or Sparta Clash, I have a bag of 7s and a bag of 8s, because if my opponent plays a great shot and they're using an APOC 8 or an APOC 7, I can watch their adjustment and work out what elevation they played and how they adjusted it. Some of the holes on Tour 12, you'll be sat at mid club and your opponent will play max plus 30 or something like that, and it's surprising. It's because the amount of carry there is on some of these elevated holes, the amount of drift. There are holes on Tour 12 that play at plus 50%, so worth watching what your opponent does. Okay, let's get cracking. See what we come up with for the first hole. R5, Drew Moore Links. Most people will know this hole from the lower tours. I seem to remember it being on Tour 5 or 6. And it has appeared in a recent tournament. So a couple of options here. It's a 10% elevation. With a fairly decent tailwind, and it looks like he's going to try and make it over this rough. I wouldn't try this with a KM. I'd probably go Titan just to absolutely make sure. Oh, he's going to go for a P4 wind too. Okay, well, he'll make it over this rough now. But you need a really decent wind to make it over this rough, and I don't know that there's enough tailwind here to carry over that. So we'll find out. He's gone for a power 4 ball anyway, so he should be okay. But playing over the rough does give you a shorter and an easier second shot. But I don't think the tee shot's particularly easy. Let's see if he makes it. Oh, he may not. He has not. He might get a hero wind. If he gets a hero wind behind him for shot 2, he'll be on the green with his off-road or his Nirvana for sure. I'm going to take a slightly different route. I'm going to play red ring up against the rough. I'm going to play 6 top, 2 right, 13.7, 10%, 12.2. So I need to adjust this 12.2. I use the top of the ball as my adjustment. And you want about a ball of curl here, not too much. Over curling is probably one of the biggest reasons that people end up in the rough on this hole, because whilst you want it to turn around that corner, if you over curl it, you can end up sitting in the long grass there. Thanks for joining us, whoever's just turned up. There is a chat box, you can say hello, feel free to ask me any questions. He's not got a hero wind, but a full OP Nirvana will make it onto the green. This shot is uphill, it's minus 10%. It's going to be minus 10% from the side I'm at as well. I don't know that. I mean, I'd go for it in his position. I absolutely would go for it, because the alternative is just laying up on the left and you've got a difficult shot. Yeah, he's not made that. So 10% for me. I'm going to play it at mid club, and because I've not got a complete headwind, and this is quite glitchy. See the ball going through there. This is quite glitchy, so I'm going to play this at a bit more top. My son has just walked in, he's being nosy, so bear with me for 2 seconds. George, you'll have to wait a second. Yeah, covered. 8.6, I'm going to put a touch of curl on this. Oh, hit a great right. Let's hope that sits, because it's quite a big wind. I'll be alright. So I didn't play full top on that, because I didn't want to get the glitch roll through, and that does happen. And the thing is, if you get a glitch roll on this, it's cambered on the back of the green, and you can end up down in that bunker. So playing short's fine. I'm just going to roll up to the hole now and drop it in. He's got a tough drop. He's missed that. Should be an easy roll up now. Just going to play full top. Plus 20, 12.9. I do check this, so most people just sort of make a guess, but in my honest opinion, if you're going to adjust for a hole, adjust for it properly. And that's in. First one down. This happens quite a lot in Tour 12 as well. It's one of those. I think it's an unusual tour insofar as there's probably more games that you'll win. There's more games that you'll win before getting to the shootout, because some of the holes are so hazardous. Right, let's open up a chest. I like to keep a chest slot free. I've got a bit of a theory on chests, you know. I mean, I'm mostly Epic 7s, like I said. I'll show you my bags. I have a rock bag. Oh, I've lost my connection. Bear with me 2 seconds. Hold on. Technical glitch. Just sometimes happens. Just decides to log itself off. Thanks for joining us. Just negotiating through this, getting my screen back, my iPhone screen back on the screen. Only take 2 seconds. It's just pairing up. I was just saying I've got a theory on speed opening. And Jake, hello mate. It's nice of you to join me. You might learn something. Hang on. We're there. We're back. We're back in business. Here we go. I'm only kidding. It was really good to see you. Really good to see you maxing the game out, Jake. Considering you'd only started it a week before or something like that, it's incredible going. Hopefully you should have that back on your screens now. So these are the bags that I play. I've got at each end, the bag 1 and 5, I've got Rock and QB. I mostly have Sniper, B-52, Hornet, Rapier, Off-Roader and Spitfire. Then I've got Thor's Hammer with a Cat 7, APOC 7 with a Sniper, and APOC 7 with a Cat 7. And the APOC 7 with a Cat 7 is my go-to bag. That's the one I use all the time. What I was going to say about chests is people think it's a bit daft speed opening chests when you're at level 7s on epics. But in the shop, you go to buy a club card. Not that I'd buy a Castaway card, but it's 100 gems per epic card. And I reckon as a Master 3 player, 80% of my silver chests have some sort of epic card in them. And so for every 10 chests you open, you get 8 cards, and it's absolutely buy the cards if I need them. Not anymore, actually. Now I'm at level 7. There's absolutely no need. Keeps kicking me off. Let's do this. There we go. Now that I'm at level 7, there's absolutely no need at all for me to be buying cards. Just waiting for my screen connection. Okay, let's just make sure that that's at the moment not changing as I'm playing it. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Funny how it works sometimes. Right, okay, let's get straight into another game. Jake, you stream as well, don't you? I need to watch one of yours. You need to stick it on at some point. Oh, Jill. Had a really epic weekly league battle with this guy a couple seasons back. We both, I think, ended up the week with about something like 18 billion. Right, I'm going to play a KM here. And I'm going to play a KM. There's 2 ways to play this hole. There's a 15% route down the left-hand side. And there's a 10% route down the right-hand side. And what I want to do, in a headwind, I'm going to play down the right. And what I'm going to do is just see the ball guide there. Just teasing over that. Oh, just type in 10.5. Type in 10.8. Right, 9.4 is my adjustment. So I'm going to need a touch of OP here, but not very much. Right, should be okay. And this should just bounce over, dink onto the next fairway, and then straight over. And that's what we wanted. When you're playing on the left-hand side, it's a bit easier. It's a 15% adjustment on the left-hand side, but it's basically point and smash. A bit more control involved in running down this route. Now he's going to go for a new golden ox ball. I've never really used a P4 ball. It's not, apart from the Ryder Cup balls, which I really like. I was trying to snipe, but failed epically. Sniped me. Oh, you were trying to get in on the. See, I'm not used to all this fancy lingo. God, that was close to being a fail. I don't use many Wim 4 balls, like I said, but this ball looks quite good. Now, this is uphill, and I'm going to play this as a rough bump, which might sound a bit strange, but it's a rough bump with a big jump over. And I'm going to play that minus 10%. And I'm going to have to go full OP here. Great left again. I do it perfect sometimes. Oh, is he going to make it over? Oh. Okay, I probably should have played up off the top ledge there, but the problem with playing from this side off this top edge where he's going to play off now is that you have to put extreme curl on, and it's trying to judge how much spin to put on it in order to get it to feed down to the hole but without it clipping the rough. So there's a bit of science to it. But I've not managed to clear that rough fully. I mean, I'm on the fairway, which is fine, but I've now got a 30% downslope. And it's not a shot I'd play the EB school method on either. I think I will just roll it because it's such a heavy slope. The ball's sort of predisposed to rolling down anyway, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, Jake's got a stream, GC Mower. Should go and watch him. Check it out. I always enjoyed our games on Tour 11, and it was really nice to suddenly log into a game on Tour 12 one day and see you there, Jake. We do have good banter. I should probably switched off the notifications so you don't see everything that comes up on my phone. Okay. Just gonna charge this. The trick here is to not underpower. I've seen it so many times. People underpowering a full tilt rapier shot, and then it's stopping just before the hole. So that's an easy eagle. See, my opponents recognise that as a good shot because it's not quite as quite straightforward as it might seem. You're going to try and snipe me on the next one. I tell you what, Jake, the stream is something like 20 seconds behind. Yeah, 20-25 seconds behind. So what I'll do is I'll set up a shot, and then in 20 seconds time, right, 20 seconds time, I'll get you to log into it. Okay, this one here, two ways of playing it. I'm going to play it before because it's only a slight tail, but I'm going to play this at 25% slider. So 6 point. Be up there, but it will be a long way right of the hole. Not my best effort. It's funny when I'm streaming, I don't know how I'm going to do this in tournament play. I don't think I'll be able to because I normally wear reading glasses for playing. So I've got two sets of glasses. I've got these ones, which are my reading glasses, and I've got my varifocals on because I'm of an age now where my eyes can't decide what the distance is. But when I'm streaming, if I wear my reading glasses, I can't see my streaming screen. Glasses and look down my nose. So if I ever look like I can't quite see, it's because I can't quite see. I'd like to point out that I don't bow to any sponsor. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. So that hole, if you're playing before the green, it's 25% slider on a P3 ball. 2 back, 2.5, 3 right. It depends on the wind. If the wind's running right to left, you go 3 right, and you probably want a bit of curl there as well. 2 games in. The one thing you should know. Oh, actually, Jake, if you want to snipe me on this, I'm going to give you a 25-second heads up. So I'm going to say press play now, and then I'll count to 20 and come in. So press play now. Oh, my stream has disappeared. Thanks, Ben. It's this. I use a bit of software called Reflector, which is a mirroring. It's a mirroring software, and it's as you can see, crap. It just, I'm literally 6 inches from my laptop. I'll show you my setup actually, because you can see that through my screen. So this is what I'm broadcasting on. So I've got all my sound effects here. So when I get a hole in one, you'll hear this. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. See, all good fun. So that's my streaming setup. Right. Now I've got it. Now I've got it back in. Thanks for sorting that out, Ben. I do appreciate it. I'm going to start another game. Ben, are you on Tour 12? Just stepping up to Tour 12, or what is it you're up to? If you're on Tour 11, Tour 12 is basically more of the same. Once you get to the back tees, the whole game changes. I'll tell you what I have found. I've played a couple of expert tournaments since I've maxed the game, and I do feel like you have an advantage. I do feel like you have an advantage knowing what the wind can do with the ball. Right, this is a 10% hole. Now, this is one of those sort of critical spin holes where if you get the spin wrong, you end up. Let me just swap that ball. I don't want one of those. I want to tighten. About 2.5. So 12.1. 10.8. About 2.5 top spin here. Max right spin. And just under a ball of coal. Hold it. There we go. Obviously, if the wind was slightly stronger than 12, if it was getting up towards 15, 16, I probably would have just played 2 top spin there rather than 2.5. But it's very easy to overcook this, and actually undercooking is just as bad. It's quite difficult to make the green if you're less than about 350 yards off the tee, making the green, and if you get a headwind, that then becomes quite difficult. I mean, there's mechanisms to get around that. You'll see lots of Tour 11 players. You learn quite quickly how to do a power slice with a cat. Because that comes into play quite regularly. Yeah, he's played that okay. So again, 10% here. Now, even if I was playing with a KM, I'd only be playing 2 right spin here. Stop that about there. Max plus 10, which is 9.2. I'm going to play a slight 11.59 pull here. Because I'm going to be sticking some curl on this, that will cause it to drop short. So the 11.59 just holds that up a bit. And that should be on the green somewhere around about the pin quite nicely. Or on the fringe. That will do. He's played that well. There's a lot of cases when you're playing on tour 12 where it's tempting to be aggressive, and it's not the right tour for that. It's well, I suppose everything's relative. It depends on how much you've got in the bank. I hit 3 billion for the first time about 9 days ago, something like that. Because I started playing Tour 12 when I was sitting at about 780 mil. But I hit 3 billion for the first time, like I said, 8-9 days ago, and I'm sitting at 4.5 now. So the growth rate on Tour 12 is quite amazing. Also worth knowing is you won't have the same kind of win streaks that you have on lower tours. I think the most I've ever had on 12 is probably 8 or 9 wins in a row, but you will have some epic losing streaks. Now, I've promised to try and help you. I've got to tell you, this is one hole. This is that one Nemesis hole. It plays 40% downhill, 50% in a headwind. Now he's going to play off of this sort of top plateau. I've never played off the top surface. I had a game yesterday where my opponent had so overshot, he was in the water, and I thought, oh, why don't I just try and play off the top surface? And he quit out before I could do it. So I've still never done it. But I'm going to guess the top surface isn't 40%. I'm going to guess it's, you know, closer to maybe 20 or 30, 25, something like that. Probably going to be playing 5 or 6 backspin. If he plays well, I'll run the replay afterwards and we'll have a look. That's how I learn. I watch other people. But this hole is a total nemesis for me. And quite often, being within 11 yards wins. Oh, he has played that well. That's a super shot. That's a super shot. I'm going to try something completely different, because if I try and do what he's done, I've got no chance. So I'm going to play 5 backspin and 1 right spin down here. 15.5, so 17.6 rings. And then I'm going to push up. 3 rings. This might be a total disaster. Let's have a look. Oh, you absolute beauty. I'll take that all day long. To get within 3 yards of that pin is a magnificent effort, even if I do say so myself. Hallelujah. I earned that. I did. So, I'm going to open a chest. Let's get another hole underway. Yeah, sitting at 4.6 now. I like Paul. I don't know if he's taking the piss out of Sap or they're just being friends. But Sap recently has stuck his head. I don't know whose body that is. But Sap's most recent profile picture is him on top of some sort of bodybuilder's body. This hole plays 10%. Few ways of playing it, actually. I mean, there really are 3 routes of playing this. In a crosswind, I will tend to play down the left-hand side. I'll just do the double bounce over. I might even try that in this headwind. I'll have a look and see how realistic that looks, but it will need some OP and it might be difficult to judge. In a tailwind, I tend to aim for the middle, so it will be a full OP shot. Easy overcook that. Stick a KM on here just because the wind is so strong. So 13.2. 11.8. 2 right spin, full top. You really want to just aim it in that middle channel there. Now, I'm going to be pulling into OP here, so I'll do this in stages. That's 6. That's 5.8. Gonna great left might take me over to where he is actually. I hope not. The wind was bringing it back. I'm going to join him. Oh, that was close. I tell you, when I lose now on Tour 12, it's because I've beat myself. I mean, occasionally, a minute ago when I was playing Jewel, he played a fantastic shootout shot. And Cripping did as well, to be fair. He played a really good shootout shot. I really hate trying to play that shot. But you can beat yourself quite easily. I mean, Paul's got I wouldn't say simple shot. It's hard to judge this because you're playing uphill, and sometimes find you meet the ground before you expect it to. Yeah, well played. Press the wrong button, you'll understand. I'm going to play this at 0 elevation. So it's going to be mid-cat, even though it's closer to minimum. I'm going to play mid. And I'm going to make sure that I'm no closer than the blue ring, because it will drop in early. This is saying 9.4 rings. I'm going to play this as a 12.01 pull, again, to keep me away from that rough line. Just a touch of OP. Ben, did you say you were on Tour 12 or are you a Tour 11 player, or is this just morbid curiosity? That sat nicely on the green. So Paul's sitting at 5170, which is of course Tours 1 to 11 maxed out. And quite often in other tours, when you see people at the max number of the tour below, you assume they're new to the tour. That is not the case. That is not the case with Tour 12, because I'm telling you, when you first come onto Tour 12 and you max it out, there will come a time when you lose every trophy in that tour. I first maxed out back in October last year. And I did it quite quickly, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And then lost every trophy on Tour 12 and tried to carry on playing it. Lost another 500,000 of my winnings. Went on to Tour 11, lost half my trophies there. Oh, I hate this hole. This is 30%. I'm going to concentrate for a second. This is 30% with cat, 25% with driver. And I'm going to play one on a bit. And the drift on this is insane. So see the ball guide where I'm putting it there. Well, 9.5 plus 30, 9.5 is 1 to 1 with it's almost 1 to 1 with cat. And you cannot hit great. Let's see how that goes. Oh, just slightly overcooked the backspin and the left spin, but that'll give you an idea. So you're at 5,200 trophies. So you've had a little dabble in T12. Okay, I mean it's very similar. What's your bankroll like? Like I said, I started Tour 12 probably at 780 mil. With my alt account Sparta Clash, I started Tour 12 at 330 million, something like that, and then I maxed it. I think I'd only hit 1 billion when I maxed it. I'll show you the stats on that in a minute. I have 2 other accounts. I played for an hour this morning on Tour 11 with Panic Sphere, and got my ass handed to me. 500 trophies gone. Absolutely kicking, total kicking. See, that's what happens with the secondary bounce. He's not put enough spin on that, and it's taking him over. Well, that's put me back up to max. He might want another game. Let's ask. No. 12's not that difficult if you've been playing 10. So these are my Jake. You have sniped me. I was just going into the #1 spot because I just maxed, and you've maxed yours 30 seconds after mine, 5 seconds after mine, and got yourself a #1. So Jake, who was on chatting earlier, that's him sitting at #1 spot now. But I've got 2 other accounts. Sparta Clash, it's only 5,700 games, sitting at 6,270. And Panic Sphere, he's only played 3,700 games. And actually, back when I started both of these accounts, everyone was like telling me about trophy dumping and the best way to get ops, and I bought into it, and I've probably got 500 games that just dumped trophies there. And that's why I had to slog through to win them all back. I realised it's just not worth doing. 3.7 billion now. Been sat in 11 3 seasons, before that 10 for ages. Yeah. You know what? I was on 10 for 3 or 4 seasons, and I got so bored of it because it didn't change at all. 11 has had like 8 different courses since I went onto it. I mean, I went on to 11 last July, and I maxed it in July, and then I went on to 12 in mid-September, and I maxed it on the 30th of October. Because I'm an attention-seeking media whore, I decided to post it on GCE, like you do. Yeah, so you've got 3.7 billion. Look, this is how I look at it. Would it matter if you had 2.7 billion? Like, I don't think it would. I think if you got, just chuck away $1 billion. I saw a guy, Gavin, I think his name was, on GC Elite saying that he'd just realised you can't read the text because my placeholder for that has moved. You just move that back over there. Got so boring, and I just, there's only so much you can take of Nordic, and Oasis was on it for a long time, and they've obviously got rid of that and replaced it with trees now. What's that called? Sequoia. But 11's boring for me. I mean, 11 has absolutely had loads of courses on it. We've had Jamil Dunes on there. We've had Southern Pines. We've got Sunshine Lanes, Parc de Paris, Maple Bay. Okay, this is an interesting hole. There's a couple of ways to play this, but I always like to say good luck if they do. If that wind was slightly more in left, I might pull a Zerk out here. I'm just going to take that over a touch. Normally I have the white ring by the rough, but I'm going to curl this quite a lot. So max plus 10, which is 12.4 in this circumstance. I've played this with a Titan as well. I tend to play with KMs here because you sort of need that curl. Slight grate, right, but that'd be okay. In fact, it probably helps me. Yeah, because I would have been getting close. Yeah, the problem with 10 as well is it's full of bloody sharks. It's full of trophy dumpers, and one thing I absolutely love about 12 is that you can't be a trophy dumper on Tour 12. You just can't. There's no provision for it. There are so few opponents on Tour 12 that you just get matched. I mean, there's a couple of players. I'm not going to shame them. I mean, I've had them on my stream, so you'll see them. But they've got less than 1,000 trophies and they're playing Tour 12. I think that's embarrassing. I just do. I think it's shoddy. And that, they're obviously used to bullying other people around on lower courses because they've got low trophy counts, but not so anymore. And that is what happens if you overcurl it. So another 10% shot here. Again, a couple of ways to play now. I'm going to be mid-cat. Now I get funny looks when I play this side. From the community as a whole. But there's quite a lot of play here. And I think it's easier. To play in the direction of the wind rather than against it. So that will probably still be left of pin, even though I've offset it quite a lot. Oh! Well, that was quite a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Realign my capture screen as it looks like it's slightly out of line. Oh no, I know what it is. Just messing about with the physics of it. I always say good game, well played. People think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. Thanks for watching. Those of you that have, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, that little bell on the right hand side. You can also find me on Twitch /Danny Lenahan. You can find me on omelette / panic sphere, and obviously my YouTube channel, which you're on now. Okay, 20% on this hole. Now this might be one of the few holes where I take a special ball, and take this bad boy. It's plus 20 here. I'm going to aim it till it just clips the rough there. Right, 10.4 is 10.1 adjustment. And it's going to take a little bit of OP, not too much. That should be okay. Yeah. I'll take it. Another 10 minutes, probably get another couple of games in after this. Not made it over. P5 is the wrong ball. The wrong ball for this. In fact, the other ball that came as that package, the P2 with the top spin boost, the P2 Windfall with the top spin boost, is spectacular on this hole. There it just goes to show lack of concentration. And we all do it, and I've brought him back into it now. This should have been dead and buried. This is difficult for him to hole, so I don't think he'll do it. But I've only got myself to blame for that, and it's just lacking concentration. What a terrible, terrible, terrible shot. Should be ashamed of myself. That was an easy eagle I just threw away because it just wasn't concentrating. I missed a putt. I was streaming 3 days ago, and I missed a putt. And then I missed another one yesterday during a tournament walkthrough. And it's and I said on those other streams, you know what? I have so much admiration for the likes of Tommy and Neo and Fenzel and all those guys, and Brendan Burke and Boris Banco and all these guys that stream, because it's a lot to keep up with. Like, I lost my screen in the early stages of this, and I hadn't even noticed because I was trying to concentrate on the game. And then Ben fortunately told me that it would come off, so I then put it back on again. But there's a lot. There's just a lot to have. You've got to worry about and talking about it. Now this is a hole that I absolutely love. Okay, so I play this max plus 10 in a tailwind that's right to left, like this one is. I will move my target out one ring. A Magnus effect causes the ball to drop right of the centre line because of the additional spin as a result of trying to curl the ball into the wind. So He's played a poor shot there. Essentially, on this with a tailwind, you want to play 3 right or 2 right if you've only got a Titan, 1.8 top, and then what you want to do is find the 0 yard mark. So where it just changes to 1 and bring it back. And I'm just going to take that across. There we go. Now I'm going to adjust. 11.6. So that's 9.8. And then the critical bit about this is how much curl you put on. Now see how close this gets to the rough line. See how tight that was. If I'd have played that where I normally do, which is red ring by the rough, that would have hit the rough. So I move it out. That's not a fantastic shot from me, to be honest with you. I've done slightly more than 1.8 there, but it's enough for the win. Let's go and see if I've knocked Jake off the top spot. Oh yeah, he's not even top 10 now. Must have lost the game. What can you do? Right, last one, and then it's been a successful playthrough, I think. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to leave a comment. Please do subscribe, hit the bell. So this is an interesting hole because you've got two different directions to take. If you play left, it's plus 10. If you play right, it's plus 20. And I have no idea how you're supposed to play this off the cliff, but he's going to. It's not a bad effort. I don't really understand the attraction myself. I'd rather just play the shot. 15.3. Okay. I've seen people try and clear that gap as well. That ain't happening. Okay, so that's 13.6 rings. Oh no, it's not. It's more than that. It's 14.9. Let's just call it an even 15. Get that straight, push it back up. Not going to OP this much. If I overdo this, it will hit the rough, which is exactly what I've done. Last game as well. Disaster. And there's me saying I shouldn't play it off the cliff. Funny. What I should have done there actually is full OP and it would have cleared that. One of those things. I don't think I've got a shot to green. I think I'm too far back and I've got 11 mile an hour tailwind. And I think he's going to be down for eagle no matter what. What a terrible, terrible, terrible choice. I've only lost one since the stream started. Right. So it was inevitable that I was going to lose another. I'm just going to try and lay this up and hope this hasn't run into the rough, which it probably has. No, no. And then I've got an uphill shot, minus 10%. Might even be slightly more because the closer you get to an incline, the more exaggerated it is as a percentage of your shot distance. So what would be 10% for a sniper, for example, might be 30 or 40% for a rapier or embryo, because it's the percentage increase within the distance, within the shot distance. This will be B52, I think. Yeah, 9.7. So probably mid. Oh no. I'll tell you what. Do I pay minimum B52? Yes. Move it up a touch. So it's probably 10% slider. I don't often use the slider in tool play, but I'm going to here. And then 7.2 rings. Hit perfect, hit perfect. Oh. Well, that's not going in. Or if it is, it's blind luck. I was close. Rushed it. Rushed it. There is a bit of a channel there. Let's see if he'll take another. He probably will. Yeah. Tough hole in this wind. I might switch this to a KM. This shot plays 20%. And in a tailwind, you can reach the green. But in a headwind, your next shot's going to be max B52 or minimum B52. The one thing you don't have to worry about is being able to reach the green with a rough iron. You'll definitely be able to do that. I hate playing max OP, hate it, and I've run out of Titans, so let's see how this one goes. Oh, you've lost my screen again. Sorry about that, kicked me off. We're back though. Still got a couple of viewers, nice to have you on. So this shot here, I mean, he's playing a Falcon. I think if you're playing short iron, it's 10%. If you're playing long iron, it's 15%, because the first or the second part of the fairway definitely has two tiers. It definitely rolls down. So you can't take a one-size-fits-all approach to the elevation on this. So I think this is going to end up being B52 for me. That's a problem. Okay, I'm going to play Max Hornet, but from right back here. Let's see what happens here. Great left took it away, would have been decent. Ah, losing my stream again. I don't know why this mirroring stops picking up, but I'm going to finish on this last game anyway, so it's a good job it's decided to go squiffy on me in the last few minutes. It's back and connected now though. Right, this is going to be the last shootout. Okay, so this is 30%, and basically with a cat 30% is almost 1-to-1. Now you want to start at 9 yards because this will carry and I'm just going to play 1 to the left and 1.1 back, 9.7 rings. Cannot afford to hit great on this. That's nice. I'll take that. Slightly too much left spin, but the secondary wind effects on this, because it's a 30% decline, going down by 30%. If the ball is curving, the second bounce, that curve is exaggerated, and so it's not a question of the ball curving again. And that again arrives further right than you started with. He's going to try an alternative shot here. I don't think this is the right win for playing this shot, but who am I to argue? Paul's a good player. He's beaten me plenty of times. Sorry, I've just reconnected that. I didn't see his shot. It's just gone match forfeit. I'm guessing I won it though. I didn't see what his shot was. What I will do, so you can watch, because this is a classic example of proper secondary wind effects. So I'm setting up at 9 yards. The reason I'm setting up at 9 yards is that, hang on 2 seconds. The mirror just keeps dropping out. I might have to just call it a day. I really wanted to show you that replay because it's an important aspect of what Tour 12 is about. See if he'll let me do it now. And I'll use my cursor to show you on the screen. It's not mirroring again. I'm going to switch that off. I'm going to call it a day there. It's obviously not working. I'm giving in to the technology that's giving me a drubbing. Thank you for tuning in. I've really appreciated it, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me any comments if you fancy it. You can always find me at any of the social media addresses above. YouTube at Danny Lenihan, Instagram at Danny Lenihan, Facebook Panic Sphere, and I will